Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to develop your own WhatsApp chat agent so that you have customer service for your business 24/7. Here is a quick demo of the system. So this is the WhatsApp message that customers would be messaging. And here is the end-to-end back-end flow. So if we have to just perhaps send a message, let's see what will happen. Tell me about your services. It's picked up the message and is running through the workflow. And now it has provided an answer. Our services cover operations, finance, sales, HR, logistics, marketing, data bottlenecks. So that's basically the customer service answers that the company has provided. Which industries do you serve? And if it does not know an answer, it basically sends a message that one of our team members will assist you on this, and then someone from the team actually gets pinged. So you can actually set this according to where you want to direct the customer if the chatbot does not understand or know the answer to that question. So that's a good thing about this WhatsApp chatbot. It's not going to provide you with incorrect answers, and it's not going to hallucinate. And from here, you can add a human in the loop. Okay, let's go into actually building this. Okay, so before we actually get into building WhatsApp, I just want to emphasize this point of why I feel like it's really important that you as a business owner, be it, small SME, startup, scale up, large corporate, large businesses, should be incorporating or should have a WhatsApp chatbot. And, I like to boil it down to, there's of course like much more reasons or many more reasons than this, but I like to boil it down to, these summarized reasons right here. And I think the first one being enhanced customer interaction. So think about it. When I always like to put myself in the shoe of the consumer. And if I need to understand something quickly about the business and the example I use is one of my favorite businesses, which is Prepaid24. So Prepaid24 allows you to buy electricity if you have a prepaid meter from WhatsApp. And that's amazing. So if I'm able to firstly ask questions, that chatbot is going to respond to me. Then secondly, I can also perform tasks on WhatsApp, which is amazing. And it's just improving my engagement with the brand and with the company, and makes me want to be a repeat customer. So it's enhancing my entire interaction with them, from, answering any questions I have to actually buying their products or services. So, that's amazing. And shout out to Prepaid24. And the next reason for me is turning prospects into warm leads. Now, if designed correctly, you could have WhatsApp as your lead magnet. You could have WhatsApp as your prospecting tool where customers come in, ask questions based on your products or services, and then you could capture their email addresses and send them further information about your business or brand, or take them to the next step in your kind of final process. So it's a really easy and simplified way to turn people that are just browsing into actually warm leads, and then potential customers. And then thirdly would be automating redundant processes. I think that it saves so much of time from resources, so much of time from people in your team who don't have to answer these questions that get asked over and over. I think that's the first thing. And then secondly, you could essentially have your entire onboarding automated. I think that's another key reason. And the example I gave about Prepaid24, now you can go a step further and actually automate the buying of your product or service. And I think that is taking your business to the next level. And I think with that free time, you can now focus on, expanding the reach of this, and, building the awareness about this WhatsApp chatbot on socials and, everywhere else where you actually direct customers from, and directing more people, onto WhatsApp. So, you can focus your time on marketing and sales, and let WhatsApp actually take care of your operational part of your business. And then I think the most important thing to mention is that there's more than 3 billion users on WhatsApp as of August 2025. And if that's not a reason to build on the platform where most people, almost half the world is on WhatsApp, I don't think that, I think that I've pretty much made my point of why I feel it's important to build a chatbot on WhatsApp. Okay, let's actually get into the build. Before I actually show you how to build this, I want to walk you through the logic of this. So as mentioned and as seen in the demo, a customer will send a message via your WhatsApp chatbot that you've created, and that will be your business link to your business number. So once that essentially initiates this workflow, so a message will initiate this workflow, then this AI agent will interpret that message, dig into the tools that it has, and then provide a response. The tools that it has in this case is Superbase. Superbase is a vector database where we're actually storing all the information about our business. And I'm using a RAG model in this system because it's super easy and quick and efficient for this AI agent to retrieve information. And I'll post a link to a RAG video that I made so you understand what a RAG is and the benefits of it and how to actually build it. But for this workflow, I'm just quickly going to summarize what a RAG is so that you understand the context of this entire workflow. So as mentioned, this AI agent has access to a brain, which is in this case ChatGPT model. It has access to Postgres chat memory, which in this case is needed to access Superbase and to remember the chat history and remember the messages earlier, and that also saves cost when it comes to actually providing answers. And that's basically the logic of the system. So to summarize, a message comes in from a user. This agent looks at its knowledge base, i.e. Superbase, the tool where all our data is stored about our business, and provides the user with an answer. And something to note, as you saw in the demo, is that if the agent does not know the answer to it, it's not going to hallucinate and provide an answer that is inaccurate. It's actually going to loop in a human in that case. Or you could program this to say, whatever you want to say and direct the person to the next step in your funnel. So that's the logic behind the system. And one more thing to note is you have to actually set up the knowledge-based tool, Superbase in this case, which is what I'm doing here. So let's actually dive into how I actually did it. So the first thing is that I've actually added a Google Sheet node and once more connected my account, and I'll also link a video on how to actually connect your Google Cloud account. But once you've connected, you select it's a get row operation, and then I'm actually selecting the Google Sheet that I made, and I'll show you that Google Sheet now from the list below and the actual sheet. So this is where all our information about our company is stored. So now if I go to this Google Sheet, which is questions and answers, it's basically frequently asked questions and as well as answers about my business. So that's the first thing to note, is we feeding this information based on our business and what our customer is likely to ask. If we go back to this system, the next thing that I'm doing is we need to now take this Google Sheet and fit this information into our vector database, i.e. Superbase, because as I mentioned, this AI agent needs to look at Superbase and retrieve information to give accurate answers to customers. So that's what I'm doing here. So I've set up the Superbase vector store, and if I click into it, and I've shown you in a previous video how to connect your Superbase vector store. It's the same video as the RAG agent, so you can watch that to understand how to connect it. But basically, once you've connected it, you'll have access to tables. And then if I go into my Superbase account, as you can see now, all of those answers have been turned into vectors. So that's what you're basically seeing here. And this is the table that the end-to-end workflow is calling it from. And I just made a note here about how to actually do that. And this is the code that I used. And once more, because I don't really have a coding background, if I need to understand how to code something, firstly, it comes with understanding the logic. And then I take that logic and I use a tool that will help me code it. And basically that's what I'm doing here. I'm actually coding this. You can also pause this video and screenshot this code, copy and paste it. The next thing is actually connecting and embedding this OpenAI tool. And once more, you have to connect to your OpenAI account. And then the model I'm using is just text embedding. And then one more thing is the default data loader. I'm using JSON in terms of the type of data, text splitting symbol, and yeah, basically leave that as is. And now you have your first part of your RAG system set up. Now let's go into actually setting up this WhatsApp chat trigger. So the first thing that I have to note is that these two nodes are different. So the first is a WhatsApp trigger, and this is connected to my business.facebook.com. So that's how we set this up. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing that we need to do is head over to business.facebook.com. So if you don't have a business page, you can go ahead and set up one here. This is actually one of my business pages, The African CEO. It's a podcast, if you guys don't know about that. And I'm connected using this account. So from here, we go down to settings, scroll down to apps, and these are the two apps that I've already created. But what you would have to do is go here and say add an app. So you'd have to set this up. So if you don't have access to this, you would have to first add your card and relevant details. But once you do, you can go to create new app, and let's call this initn test 3 for the purpose of this video. Add your email address, go ahead and select other. I'm just saying business, follow the steps, and then I'm saying create app. Enter your password. Now it takes you to the developer backend. So from here, you go to app settings, basic, and these are the two things that we need to set up the node, app ID and app secret. So I'm going to copy this, go back to initn, paste it in here, and copy the app secret and paste it in here. And then you can click connect and it should connect. And another thing to note is remove all of this here because it might affect your workflow. So all we'll have is trigger on message. Now that's the first part of it set up. The second thing you need to do is add your AI agent. And what I'm doing here is prompt user message. I'm basically getting that from previous data and I'm dragging in the message here. So that's how I got that. And then you can actually set a system message. So let's see what I've done here. All I said here is you are a helpful WhatsApp support agent. Your functions are to respond to user queries by retrieving data from the Superbase tool. So I'm giving it a tool. Keep the answer short and relevant. At any point, if the answer isn't available in your retrieved data, just reply, one of our team members will assist you on this. And that's the message that you saw in the demo. So now here is where you can actually program it according to your business. And you could add, links to further maybe book a meeting. Maybe it's emailing one of the team members. So here is where you can actually direct your user to wherever you want them to go. As you know, an agent has a brain, a memory, and a tool. So in this case, it's a GPT 4.1 mini. I use Postgres chat memory because that's what's needed for Superbase. As mentioned, I've also added this in the RAG video, so you can watch that to see how this is set up. And then I'm actually adding a Superbase tool and an embedding. So what's happening in this? I'm just saying call this tool to fetch general FAQs and product info. And the operation mode is retrieve documents. And as mentioned, you can watch the video to understand how to actually set this up. For this video, I just want to move on. Just to summarize what this tool does, it connects to your knowledge base that you created here, and it retrieves information about your company and gives it to the AI agent to provide accurate information. So that's what this tool is doing. The last thing we need to do is add a send WhatsApp chat. So if we go to WhatsApp Business Cloud, it's a send message one. So that's what I used here. If we open this up, so if we go here, as you can see now, it's business account ID and access token. So it's different from the first WhatsApp node. So how do we get that? Go back here, go back to dashboard, set up WhatsApp, API setup. And here is where you would actually set up this. So the first thing that we would do is you would copy this business account ID here and paste it here. And then the second thing you need to do is take your access token, generate access token, continue, opt in, save, copy this, and paste it here. And to test this, you could add a number, your current WhatsApp number, so that you could chat with this number here. And this is the actual number that will be your business chat. And it's one that Facebook generated. So of course, we can go ahead and change this. And then something to note is when you're actually deploying this, you have to turn this to live. And you'd also have to go to init and make this active. So you won't have to keep hitting execute workflow when you're testing it. It's automatically going to trigger when someone sends a message. So that's the two things that you have to do when you're actually deploying this. For those of you that made it this far, thank you. Please check out other videos on my channel, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this with someone who needs to build a chatbot for their business. Cheers, guys.